a little bit later, I just want to preface it with this is a track dedicated to my father. It has a special meaning for me. I did it just recently, that night, and this is how I always did things that I get attached to. I did it for somebody. So yesterday, my father, I'm sorry, had a birthday. He would have been 63 by that time. I'll let you listen to my new work, and then we'll get back. We're not hanging here for a long time, but I'll be sure to see you later. I'll talk about what's going on in my life just in a second. So here it is, my new track. It's called Reki, Vspyat. Thanks, everybody. That is it. That is the track. It's going to be uploaded soon, as it's always the case after the presentation. I just want to talk a little bit this time. And not in general, but about that one. Thank you for all the comments, and I hope you liked it. First of all, this is something that I can create really easily. This is my kind of music. This is very easy to think about for me. This is something that grew on me for years and years when I was younger. If you like that kind of sound from me, I've made a list of songs. I'll paste it in the chat right now. Oh, I have to work on it a little bit more. So there is, if you're not able to tell, because the periods are all fucked up, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different tracks. But mostly this sweet character of it is something that I am really used to. And probably that's why I don't do it right now as much. But I love fast drums. I love drum and bass rhythms. I love Rhodes, so electric pianos, and moving bass parts. So in here, it all combined together. The bass I played live, the Rhodes I played live, and this is just a combination of my previous experience. This is a Vospi starting point. This is something I want to build on. So if you would listen to my previous track called Kill Me With Kindness, you would probably hear that I combine different things. But in here, I thought it would be fine that I would stick to one state, so to speak. And this is the thing I want to discuss right now. If you want to talk about something different, you should post in the chat, because I don't want to get it dragged on. But it is totally fine if you are off topic. I don't mind it at all. Just post, and that's okay. Also, I want to shout out Project 19 and Lara for being here. Love and kisses. Hey, Big Z11, and to everybody who's also here. I see that we have more viewers than 3 of us, which is good. So the title of the banner says that it is a dedication to my father. So my father is a very special person. He is a teacher, or rather he was a teacher. He taught engineering and ecology and all these kinds of things. He became a professor in our university that I later went to. And he graduated with flying colors from his school, which was a long time ago. He was born at 1957. His birthday was yesterday, so 28th of February. And he was the person who brought me to stage. He was someone who was very close to music, despite not being trained professionally. He played a bunch of instruments, even more than I do. And I didn't have a head start, but I've got much more time to learn instruments. But I got practical with it, and I stopped at guitars and piano, because this is what helps me most. You can, I suppose, count a bass guitar as a separate instrument, but I really don't, because I use them in a very similar manner, although they are quite different in terms of timbre and so on. So he played a lot of jazz on our piano. We have a piano right here. You cannot see it, but it's standing right, I don't know, 3-4 steps from me. And to be honest, I don't play it that much. This is a rare thing. Before, I always did that because no digital piano could satisfy me. Right now, one software cuts it for me. So it's still that same piano that he played on. It's a German piano, Zimmermann. I'm not sure how to pronounce it correctly. Um, Neither in English nor in German, so please forgive a Russian guy. Okay, he played a lot of jazz, he improvised, he tried to teach himself how to do that. And I was trained to play piano a little bit. I'm not a good pianist by any stretch of imagination, but I went to school for 7 years, which was not the case for him. And that was a thing in the house. So when I was 12, I got a software, a game for PlayStation 1 to compose on. It was called Music. Later, this next installment was called Music 2000. And I know that for a lot of people, they know it as MTV Music Generator. He saw me using that. Since I was about 12, I cannot really figure it out because I don't have concrete records about what really happened. But yes, it was about that age. And he was curious as to what you can make with it. And you could make very basic stuff, but still it's more compared to you sitting in front of the instrument and just doing your thing, playing with your two hands with as much skill as you have. This is almost a difference between real-time strategy and turn-based strategy. You can plan ahead, you can do more, you can go for more. And I enjoyed it really much. And there was that one time when he tried to create something with me. So he recommended some chords and they sounded kind of good to him, but I couldn't make it work. And I distinctly remember that moment. I was always very afraid of drowning. For some reason, I'm scared of big water still. And I once told him about that. And he said that there is nothing scary about it, that you'll just breathe the water once and you would not remember anything else. It was a very strange conversation. And when I was 14, it was October, he drowned. And we did not know about that right away. He just disappeared and we were looking for him for 2 weeks. And of course, it makes an impact on a family because his parents are still alive, both of them, at the moment. My mother, my sister. It was a closed casket burial, so I never got to see him again. And from that time on, I am wondering about a lot of things. About what was it to raise a child but not yet a man? What was it to wait for him to become a man? What was it to hope that these going to develop into something but not being sure what that would be? He tried a lot of things with me now, as I understand, but as a young boy, I did not give him too much appreciation. I have to admit that. And I almost did not like him because he wasn't as sweet, as accommodating as a lot of women around me. But I have a couple of memories that are very impressive and made an impact. One of them that we performed together when I was in 9th grade. He was playing piano and I was playing piano and he was playing flute, a recorder, exactly. So a different kind of flute. We played Jada. It's a jazz standard. You can easily Google it. Ta-da, 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 ta-da. He trained me. I was very worried. We went up on stage in the university that he taught in, and in like 12, 13 years old, you might as well perform in front of a Wembley. You know what I'm talking about. If you ever got on stage, hundreds of people, seemingly endless hall. So I was really worried, and I did not want to screw it up, and I always did, because I'm very unattentive and sloppy in life, especially at that time. Always under-rested, always unsure of myself 24/7, all the time. This is one very vivid thing that I remember about him. Another one that I really want to tell right now is that he made a magazine for me. I'll go into details in a second. See, I know it's a very personal thing, and maybe it's dragged out, but I talk about my father all the time with my friends, but I just gloss over it. So I talk a lot, but not substantially. And I want to just get it fixed that one time, because I have an opportunity and a good reason to do that. So there was one time when I really wanted to play something like a table game or whatever. I was 12, so or 13 or 11, so it is about my year of birth is 1986. So do the math, it's in the 90s. He locked himself in his room, and he drew by hands with 4 pens. He created a magazine. In the magazine, he invented 2 or 3 characters. They were comical. As far as I remember it, the first one was based on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I definitely remember there were protagonists and antagonists with stupid names. I don't remember exactly. I definitely remember that when he did Spider-Man the next time, in Russian it's Человек-паук. So there was an antagonist of Человек-паук, which was called Человек-мяук. Go into in English it's something like meow, spy meow man or whatever. Like there is instead of pauk, which is spider, there is a мяук, which is a play on words with a word meow, something that a cat says. Whatever. It was so clever, man. It was so creative. He dragged, and even at that age, I was able to remember that. I'm so pitiful that I cannot find these things. This is one thing that you could not recover, you could not recreate. I just want to look at it that one more time. So colored pens, nothing else, just pieces of paper from from a workbook, from a notebook. And he did a game in the middle, and around it he explains a particular simple mathematical concept. So in this case, I believe it was aging, and you had to fight against that there is a finite amount of something and you're heading towards that end. Something like that. I felt so excited that he created it seemingly out of thin air. It just there. It wasn't here an hour ago. It was just a piece of paper. And now it's something that I get so much joy out. It's very dense. It's very creative. It's different. It's diverse. It's unique. It's tailor-made for me. It made such a huge impression. But being a kid, I just stumbled him please do another one. Please, 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 please. I did not recognize how much effort went in. So I guess that upset him or something. I could tell that he wasn't that pleased. Maybe I was not good at communicating just how awesome that was. Or maybe he was like me, playing it cool when someone says something pleasant to you. So anyways. Oh, man. He created 2 more. And the third one, I was really pressing him. That's why you can tell. You could tell that it's not the same. The second one was as cool as the first one, and I was still impressed. What I want to say is, First of all, I think he made a lasting impression of me of how cool it is that you can create something seemingly out of thin air. And that moment of surprise, of concentrated effort, is something I would really, I would really want to communicate every time I upload a track for you. I don't want to for you to hear a demo. I don't want for you to be able to tell what is going on. But what I want to is for you to get this one short moment of very dense satisfaction. This is what I really strive for. This is what is a standard for me. So I don't really jive with a lot of things that go on with the commercial way of communicating music, previews, creating a lot of them for a long period of time, and so on and so forth. This is something that I do best. High speed, concentrated effort, high intensity, if you would. Like I did it for 8 hours straight. My head's in it completely, 100%. Then I'm double checking and triple checking that we are done here, that the dive is over, because I know that I'm not going to revisit it later, and I want to be completely sure of it. I sleep on it. I check it the next day, just as I did. It was a very, very big. I really wanted to post it yesterday because it was the right day and I was so excited about it. But it's a good thing that I didn't. I made some corrections even after I announced the stream, by the way. If you want me to talk about that, just say, tell me that and I would. Okay. And the next thing that I would really would want to communicate, which is not that personal, I suppose, because we can all extrapolate that to ourselves. I believe that's what I think. How long do you have to wait until you can talk to your child properly? How many iterations do you see in front of your eyes before it happens? This is something that really bugs me because while I grew 14, 15, 16, I created more and more music. And all I wished for is that he would be able to listen. How much I improved. By 2005 or 6, when I created Baka Ra, a very strange title, don't ask me to explain it, my head was always somewhere in the clouds. I would not care to explain myself at all. I thought by that time, I already thought that I'm like not on the top of the world, but I'm something unique for sure. I have heaps of talent. I definitely create music that I really enjoy, and I have a very bright future. That's what I believed, despite everything that happened around me. Not like I tried to struggle. I did not see it as a struggle. I was just kind of blind. I did not understand how much of a shithole sometimes I experienced in my life emotionally and physically and everything. And people definitely perceived me as a loser. And I probably did as well, but I did not see it that way. Hey, Max. Okay, so where was I? Oof. I lost my train of thought, thinking about university and the later years of school. Oof, I don't like that. So yeah, music. Yeah, 2005. That's what I was talking about. I am sorry. I got a little bit distracted. And I was always curious. What would he say? And he came back into my dreams repeatedly. But later, I wondered about a different thing, not that connected to myself as someone who just wanted to get that appreciation of an older person, of a father, not of just random somebody, right? I wondered, did he already want to talk to me as a mature person? Did he anticipate it? And I think you just 100% you do. Since the first year until you get really tired, if you do. And he did, because he did not really, he wasn't really a very family person. He was always looking out for something, for a new adventure, for a different line of work, for a different city. That is why I suppose he comes back in my dreams as if he was on a trip. From that perception, I doubt I would have children. Right now, I am a grown-up person in terms of the age, but I don't think I would invest in a child until I would get like 40 or something. This is the impression I get. And I'm not child-free or whatever. I just think that it's an enormous task. And not only I'm not sure in myself, but I don't want him to bear, or her to bear, the results of me being too proud, too sure of myself, because usually it's only me who pay the price. And in that case, it wouldn't be. But everything which is good in life is a risky proposition in some way, I think. Creating a track, in this case, which wasn't, you see, a typical Vospi track in a sense that it does not have a huge plot, I believe. And I hope I did not disappoint you much with that, but you can definitely tell that it stays in one lane. But I think that it counts for something, that it was created on a special moment and would take a special place in my heart, just because I would remember that evening, that line of thought, and that stream for that matter. Because before, I was just hunting people with headphones. Maybe I should start doing that again. It was fun, to tell you the truth, actually, to hunt people and just to try to grab them and listen to your music. But sometimes it's disheartening because they're not as interested. Yeah, there are downsides to that, sure. Nevertheless, this is my equivalent. This is my little fireplace where we gather. I tell a story, and then the gathering is over until the next time. This is how I want it to be. This is how I appreciate it. And when we will be not 50 people, but I don't know, 5,000 people, I think it is definitely possible. I would still try to treat it the same way. At least that's what I believe right now. Everything might change. I might change for that matter. Okay, guys, I really thank you for listening to all of this. And I want to close it out with a sincere wish to for everyone listening to look forward to the brighter side of the future, to be able to cope with everything that life throws at you, and try to understand that each and every one of us hopefully does the same thing, and we do it better or worse. Some of us are educated, some of us are not that educated particularly in terms of dealing with life. And when you grow, you're able to forgive people more, I hope, not just to correct them more, right? This is not, I believe, what we live for, to correct everything, to make everything right. This is, for me, is a trite subject. Nothing is going to work at the end. Entropy is more powerful than us, and it's just a thing you have to accept if you want to live a healthy life, just to be able to stay alone and not be panicking all the time about how that would work out or whatever. And to do that, we can do a better job at me, myself included, 100%, a better job at excusing people for different things. I just, this is the thing that I really want to get across. Till I die, which I'm not looking forward to 100%, I'm very, very afraid of death. I say it all the time. I will be learning, but it is not something I am completely proud of. I wish I could stop it. I wish there was a way to be 100% sure. Everybody wishes that. I believe everybody who has a creative pursuit or whatever pursuit, we would not be able to. No one would be able to. So forgive each other as much as it is viable, please. And after that, we would get a world to a little bit better position with the same things, with our aspirations and hard work and good connections and all of that. And cut out people that you don't need in your life. 100% do that. I'm not in favor of dragging everything behind you, because you need to be favorable. You need to favor somebody, because otherwise you would not be able to create priorities. And that was my mistake for years, unfortunately. And some people paid for it, not only me. Okay, guys. There was one time when a person by the name Leila, who was a close friend of mine for a long, long time, and then we got in a very bad fight just recently, and I was really hurt by it. Once upon a time, years back, 2006 or 7 or whatever, he listened to another track like this one, very light, very, very warm, like As It Is, I believe. And he just, without any explanation, without any talking, he just said Vspyat. She always called me Vspyat. It's like a derivative from Vospi. Ты просто очень любишь людей. You just love people so much. And that was a fucking revelation for me. I was not able to tell that. I was not able to differentiate that. It's a special thing for me, that I just love people in general. That as solitary I am right now, I still am a very, very social creature. So I hope that it comes true. This is what I hope for. Okay? Let me end on the lighter note right here. And thank you for all the messages in the chat, by the way. What would be that lighter note? I'm fine. I'm good. I wanted to present another track to you. I would not. It's completely done. It's 100% ready, and my Russian audience already heard it. Sorry, but we are going to make it another meeting next week, I suppose. So mark your calendars for that. It's called Above the Planet, as I promised in some recordings or posts that you could hear before. And I really like it. It's not typical Vospi track, but it's long for once. It's 7 minutes plus, and I think it turned out really well. On a personal side, I presented it to an audience from a stage. It was a good experience. People liked it, which meant a lot for me, surely. I sang some. I did fine. I'm still ill. I caught a virus. I suppose it's a flu. But I don't feel bad, as you can tell. I got back into my physical and also exercise, and also yesterday or 2 days ago I went during the night and played some Pump It Up, which is super good. I feel super fine with that. I did a ton of great sounds, very interesting and strange and unusual. I want to start selling sounds. I want to post on Splice, which is a... I don't like to announce those things. I don't come through after that. But I just want to tell you what's on my mind, not dangle something in front of you, right? This is the purpose. So in my mind, I want to create this little active thing that would be here again and again and again, because finally I feel that I can be accommodating for others in terms of separate sounds, not just complete music works. Also, I have some ideas about my website that would be very good to do. But right now, it's still almost on pause. If you would like to listen to the track that you just heard, you should go to my soundcloud.com/Vospi. And I would always post an MP3 just out of an old habit, if you want to download it, on my website, vospi.com/music. All the places that I appear right now are a little bit different. On Twitter, I am super personal. If you dig that, go there. I would really like you to, if you don't mind me being personal. My official channel for talking to fans is Facebook, facebook.com/vospimusic in one word. I suppose I would be very easy to find on Twitter as well. I have an Instagram. I don't really remember what is the URL. I suppose it's Vospi_ or something. It says Vospi official. You would not miss it, definitely. I don't like Instagram. I would be very forthcoming when I would tell you that. A network for pictures, which screws pictures that much. Me being a photographer, a hobbyist, yeah, but I still really like everything. Like the picture that you just saw on a banner, and a lot of different pictures that I do on my live streams, they are mostly mine. I took that picture, I edited it. I would hate to see it on Instagram, and also I don't like the idea of very high-speed communicating. I spent hours with this photo. I don't like to treat it afterwards as if it is super cheap for me, right? Does that make sense? I hope it does. But still, I acknowledge a lot of people are there, and I'm trying to find my way into liking it. So tonight, for example, I've posted a story about me doing a live, and also on Instagram I mostly post videos as short snippets of tracks, and they are almost always tracks that are not out, like just a draft edit. So if you dig that kind of thing, you're welcome. I would be still happy to see you there. And SoundCloud is the best place to go and listen to a collection of songs. I know that you want Spotify. I know that you want Apple Music. I would do that later. Man, it's not the easiest time right now for me financially, but I am digging myself out. And not without help of my dear friends, which is fantastic. That people are here when it really counts. What can I do for you, dear chat? Can I read your messages? And afterwards, we'll stop that thing, right? Because I know people are intimidated later. It's like 40 minutes long or 2 hours long, and people just don't listen to it. And that's what I want to, right? That's what I want to have, is what I wanted to say. Okay, all the familiar faces, kisses. I don't know who MC Zendog is, but hey, man. And I also want to shout out Michelle Ramirez, who posted, I really understand your feelings for your father, because for me, my dad is the most precious thing I have in this world. It is my inspiration and is everything to me. I would not say I envy you. That would not be very polite, I think. I don't know if I would have very good relationships with my father, frankly speaking. But the way you said this is very warm and dedicated. I am afraid of dedications. I am afraid of concrete things. But right now, I am happy that I have those, that I have some people that I would really, really be down if I would lose them. Which was not a thing before, I have to admit, once again. It grew on me, and I'm not someone who was very appreciative of people early on. I was too worried about myself. I guess I still am. Big Z11 says, so I guess I just got you into this mood of talking about that. And if you want to, I am completely down to that. Please post, I read it and I'll respond. Big Z11 says, I just like that you're so open with yourself. It really brings myself at peace in a way that I can't, oh man, in a way that I can't explain. Man, you made me feel really warm with that comment. Thank you. I think it's what counts. Once again, I was trained by myself just by virtue of being fucked over by different people and by myself as well, getting into repeated situations, but being able to analyze patterns and being kind of good at it. I trained myself to speak to myself, to count. It went 4 years. One big step for me was to count my emotions as a fact. As a child, I dismissed my emotions a lot. Someone just trained me to do that, and it's not a good thing at all. And right now, I try to keep my peace of mind, not only because I really enjoy it, and it keeps me clear, and it keeps me still wanting. You can tell that I'm passionate about music still, but I wasn't since 2009 for the longest time, and it's a bad place to be, man. For a musician, and when you connect your ego 100% to that one thing, like before I was competing at Bimani, and it was one thing that I could really say, yeah, that's who I am. But later I stopped and I hurt myself and I wasn't that good, and you cannot really, it's not a way to live, to be always competing. It's not sustainable for me. I want to enjoy different facets of life, and always being ahead is getting the best of one facet. I encourage everyone who's listening and thinking, I cannot do that, or I would be alone. No, you wouldn't. And what is the reason? The reason is people like me would notice you. When you go into this state of mind, when you are after yourself, when you're looking out for yourself and you are criticizing yourself at the same time, you can tell that person is like that. They are a little bit different when they speak. They are different in terms of topics that they choose to speak about. I believe it happened to me, and later I noticed some people who are like that, and we all evolve. Some people weren't, but now they are, and you just send the right signal for years and you end up with a good company. I'm telling you, if you are thinking that somebody is dragging you down or nobody is like you or whatever, just send the right signals for a long amount of time. You have to appreciate yourself. You have to understand that you would not be able to really 180 degrees change yourself in some facets. You would not really like to do that, is what I believe. I had to be, for example, to be frank with myself, that I have to create music all my life, and I have to be an artist, not just create music for somebody or whatever. I tested it out. It did not turn out well. I feel different, and I don't want to feel something else. This is something I really want to get, and I am able to. I have all the means, and I have the right people, and I am encouraged. It's not like I have thousands of followers running around, and whatever I say is a, how to say it, God, you know what I'm talking about. Please help me with the word. Gospel, yeah. But still, I feel blessed and I feel able to do that. So I should. It was just, so who cares that I'm 30, that I'm past my running around years, but I should gather some energy for that. And I finally did. And I am so happy to say that. Thank you for a comment once again. I think you could tell that I really appreciated it. How much did we talk for? How long is it already? Please. Okay, right about 40 minutes. Just as planned. Maxim Bagirov messages, I suppose, to Michelle Ramirez. Totally agree with the comment above. My heart goes to you, Maxim. Ekaterina Karzhova asks, what style of music do you like? Uh, I got distracted with Julia's questions here because I did not really. It's not really clear for me. Could you clarify, Julia, please? What style of music? I like music with plot. I like music with melody. Styles are not that much of my thing. I am completely down to listen to a good pop song if it really gets me. But I got my influences from my childhood, which would be early Spleen, it's a Russian band, also Zemfira for sure, Mumitrol for sure, Chij and Company for sure. So a lot of rock tracks, pop rock, you would say, I think. A little bit of MTV influence, and at the same time, I listened to a lot of Cranberries. I really, really liked them. I was so down when I heard that the vocalist is dead. She was a kind of person that I would not be able to stand. I am completely sure. I can tell, I think. But I really liked their music, and it's something that taught me form. If you are curious, just grab whatever first any of the first four albums. You can go with the one that contains Zombie, the most popular track of theirs, and just listen to how people write songs. Later, I got really influenced by Gakt, a Japanese singer, maybe you know him, and London Electricity, because he opened the door to drum and bass for me. London Electricity is the reason why I do something like this. Definitely. And also a friend of mine from a forum that I frequented when I was an upcoming learning. I'm still upcoming and learning. But later I got into all kinds of music. Bimani and rhythm games got me into electronics and abstract things and darker things and whatever else. And I appreciate the styles and genres for what they are. But there are some things I'm not very tolerable to, how to say it correctly. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I'm not the native speaker. I really like when it's coherent. I really like when it has an idea and a little world behind it. And that's what I strive for myself. And I would hate to turn into a printing machine. I would hate to do the same thing all the time. So that's why I want to stay healthy and to keep my mind fresh, because I know when you are tired for years and you don't really understand that. And I was when I was on a very stupid diet. Yeah, sure. I felt real bad. So that's the kind of music I like. Recently, let me name some tracks that really jived me. I make a yearly lists to be sorry for the noise. It's not me. I make a annual. That's the word, right? Annual lists of 20 tracks that I listened to a lot. I'm an old guy. I do it still in MP3 and FLAC files. So I listened to a lot of Joe Ford, not a lot of tracks, but still. Oh, that's the track I would tell you about. Magnitude, and Julia Marks. The name is Hunger. I really like it. Breaks, darker breaks, a lot of cool sound. I like it. I listened to a track called Heatstroke from DDR. It's so very my kind of music. I discovered Ipram. It's an abstract type of guy, which reminds me a little bit of Mr. Bishi, but Mr. Bishi is softer. Mr. Bishi is someone I really look up to because he's a man of his world. I just appreciate him being here. I already do some things that he does not bother doing right now, but I never for a second think that I am a replacement for him. He is a cool guy. I really like him. Shane McCullough, I like his music. He's a acquaintance of mine from SoundCloud. Shout out to Shane. You can find him if you would look through my friends in my SoundCloud. I don't have much. I don't follow people just for the sake of following them. There's usually a reason, and it's usually a musical reason. I really, really love Noisia, as most of us electronic boys and girls. I really enjoy Eva Polna, a solo vocalist of Гости из будущего, Russian band. You could hear me covering that. I like music of my friend Inaker, and you should like it too. Just look for my friends. Once again, I was a mentor to him somewhat, but now we are like colleagues. It's a pity that he does not post much. So yeah, I like drum and bass. Not all the drum and bass that is out there, but yeah, this is what I like. I like songs, I like lyrics, but I don't listen too much. And sometimes very good music gets me too emotional, so I have to skip on it. See, that's the thing. I have a little shelf behind myself with maybe 5-6 dozen, no more, of CDs, some Japanese music. So I would just name you off the bat the titles that I really think are very, very, like they would be here definitely. Right now, a lot of Gact, a lot of London Electricity, as I told you before. Definitely, like Gact early albums are perfect. Just perfect. I have Gypsy Kings CD. I really like it. Dimitri from Paris, the CD is called Cruising Attitude. Man, I should do that. I should do a video of my CDs just talking about them and showing them off. That's a cool idea. Okay, so just glossing over someone who would be really, really... Okay, Mr. Bishy's CD, it's called Trip. If you would listen to one thing by Mr. Bishy, listen to Trip. It's an album called. It's the name of the album. Some Spleen, some Zemfira, some Mumitrol. And if you want to give me a present, if you live abroad, there's a couple of CDs that I really, really want to have. And they are cheap. I don't mind used CDs. I just want to put them there to pay my appreciation. One CD is Chicane, Beyond... just let me get the name right. I'm always screwing it up. Chicane, Behind the Sun. I'm sorry. Behind the Sun. Behind the Sun. Something, this is an album, something that I really want to have. And Fight Club original soundtrack, something that I definitely need to have on my shelf just to pay an homage to it. I have a Discogs wish list, but I did not update it much because, you know, these CDs are not a thing, almost. Right? But yeah, I'm trying to Google my wish list on Discogs to maybe say something that I did not say already before. But basically that's it. There are some Japanese CDs and vinyls that I would really like Nujabes. Oh, that's one thing. That's one artist that influenced me very much, I think. And I wish I had the guts to just create something like Nujabes. Nujabes. Like that. But his CDs and vinyls are too expensive. I don't think it's a good investment. You just rather just give me that money instead. Also, just a recommendation, Nomak, Geishas in the Days. Very beautiful song. It's just a sampled hip-hop, and it's not top of the line, but it's a good, also Sanctuary, Nomak. Sanctuary. There is a very beautiful vinyl of Geishas in the Days, and it costs some ungodly sum of money, like around $50 or $100 for Like it's or maybe even more. I don't really remember. These vinyls, man, these Japanese vinyls, for some reason they are. And it's not like I would listen to it or something, really. It's I don't really appreciate physical things. I just feel that, if that makes any sense. I hope it was entertaining, me telling about that. I would maybe make that video. It's cool. When I get real comfortable with the camera and with my English as well, I would do more of those, I believe. Do you like the setup? Do you like the sound? Do you like the... I think it's good right now. It's not perfect. It's not super entertaining, I believe. But yeah, I am Russian. Julie Bro XT. Vospi, are you Russian? Yes, I am Russian. Why are you asking? Are you Russian? Please tell me more. Yeah, somebody knows Namak Sanctuary, the track. What was I talking about? Yeah, I'm getting myself comfortable with the camera and with live streaming and everything else. I really imagine myself doing something more entertaining than just sitting in my room, but I need a company. I need someone who would look out for light, who would look out for the picture. Right now, I'm stationary. This is my camera. This is my lens. This is my color setup. I did everything in here. I planned everything. Nobody. It's my usual way of doing it. I'm proud of that, but it is uncomfortable in my worst days. Tonight, it was a good day. I was super comfortable. I am not worried about shit. The track is good. It's cool. It's cool. Are you able to tell that I'm Russian, Jolie Bro? Please tell me. I'm very curious. I've got some ideas, but I want to do music education stuff because I really feel I can bring something. And I just, doesn't matter. I just enjoy it so much, telling people about that. I don't have English-speaking students right now, but I did before. And I really want to do it more because it's more entertaining to me. It pays better. It's harder, way harder, definitely. And that way I would learn more myself, 100%. Right now, I am an overkill for most of my students. Not for everybody, I'm very glad to say that, but for most of them, I am. And I like to be challenged just a tiny bit more. I don't like to struggle, but I would like to. I am Russian. I live in a city called Krasnodar. So in English, it's Krasnodar. My name is Sergey. So in Russian, they usually say Sergey in English. But yeah, we are adapting all the names, which is strange. Sergey, Krasnodar. Yeah, I live in the downtown. I live in a beautiful place. A lot of parks around me. Our city is big, but not huge. Our buildings are small. Our streets, driveways are small compared to some other cities in Russia that I've been to. And I've been to some when I was touring. And I really want to be able to speak English as good as someone who you can meet in the US, for example. And like, I want it to be beautiful in terms of sound and in terms of everything, in terms of words I choose, in terms of tempo, everything. I really enjoy that you like Video Out E. I want to have a rhythm game where I would drop all the video out tracks. And my favorite one is probably D. And I don't have a good reason to finish F, but I can totally do that. And I would struggle, I believe, to keep it a time piece at the same vein, at the same volume as older tracks. This is a Video Out D, by the way. Oh no, it's a different. By the way, if you did not, you like Video Out E, not D. I have a different version of Video Out D. It's this ambient one that you can hear right now. This is Video Out E. Let me tell you an anecdote if you mentioned the track. This A vocal sample is a sample of Layla that I mentioned before. She sang for a No, not that one. That one maybe not her, but definitely this one. Before the drop. Ah, do you remember this one? This is from a different song called Love Maths, I believe. Maybe from there, like from an impro she did for the track. And I just cut it out and sped it up, and it sounds just fine there. It's a good way to work. I still appreciate that series, and I wished I was as open-minded right now, as not caring for anybody's thought and for industry standards as I should be. So you visited Russia 2 years ago. Wow, a Serbian person. Why did you? Did you enjoy it? Moscow or Smolensk? I'm not sure where Smolensk is. I'm not near Moscow. 23 hours by train. About 18 or 19 by a car or a bus. I've been to Moscow a handful of times. I was competing, I visited friends a lot of times. It's more like near Sochi. Yes, I am near Sochi. I'm like 4 or 6 hours away. I've never been, actually. Yeah, that's the place where we held our Olympics. Oh, that's Julia explaining. I am sorry, I got confused by your avatars. They are a little bit similar, so I just kept reading. Did you like Moscow? I hope you did. Moscow is a very different place to the rest of the country. To be fair. Okay, guys. I don't have anything special to top the stream off, but I hope you don't mind. I hope you are okay with me being here, with my smile, with the music. I really hope you enjoyed it. And I am happy to see that people are still here and listening and listening and listening. Love and kisses from Russia and Vospi. Please go and mark your track somewhere where you would like it to be marked. And when I would resolve my monetary issues, I would be able to deliver it to you in terms of Spotify and other things where apparently you listen to music to. By the way, if you could drop a word about your music listening habits, please do, because I'm just so far removed, and I shouldn't be. I should understand how do you consume music. If the YouTube thing of posting a song separately just does not, I don't feel comfortable. I don't know, just a plain banner. I don't know, man. I don't feel, it does not click with me. But if you would really appreciate that, please tell me. Please tell me. If you made it this far, sure. Okay. Be fine, party people. Be good. Thank you for being here. I would go on and do the same thing in Russian now on a different service, because I want to pay an homage to my father there as well. And to present my track, of course. Oh, by the way, the title of the track. I did not speak about that because everyone would be mispronouncing it. Reki are rivers. Vspyat means backwards. It's a saying connected to being able to turn time back, that you maybe shouldn't, or you're not able to, or you wish for it to be that. And of course, it is connected with my father in some way. I guess you can tell how. I am sure that people would mispronounce it. I could just translate it into English, into something like time going backwards, or I don't know, whatever the expression might be which suits it in your language. But it felt disingenuous to do that. Hey, Project 19, thank you for being here. I really like that you are here. So, with this out of the way, now I will end the stream. See you next time, guys. Please come next week, okay? We will listen to Above the Planet, a track that I'm really proud of. And I probably would be able to present some more news to you. I hope this is what I motivate myself with meeting you next week. So, see you later.